So it's lovely to have you guys here. I believe ProtocolX and Bran will be speaking today from the team. So thanks so much for joining us, guys. Hope you've been having a good day. What's been going on with you guys lately?
Hey, thanks for bringing us up here. So, just introduce ourselves real quick. My name is Neil Shiblord on the socials. I'm on our Telegram announcement only TG account here. I also have Bran up here with me, one of the 6 total team members that we have with ProtocolX. So, pretty much we've just been busy this morning working, getting stuff ready. We launch tomorrow. We're currently still in pre-sale for another 26 hours or so. So we're getting a lot of that stuff ready, working our end there. I'm out here preparing documents because that's what I do a lot of the times here. But we're pretty good, pretty excited to get through this AMA.
Lovely to meet you. My name is Brian, or known as Brandon in the real world. I'm the community manager for ProtocolX. I've been in crypto for just shy of 2 years now. Spent my time doing marketing, community management, moderating, and the overall good stuff. And as Neil said, I'm one of the founding core members of the team. Neil is the CEO and sole founder of the team. But all of us pitched together, put the idea, and we're currently building ProtocolX.
All right, fantastic, guys. Well, it's great to have you in here. We haven't started recording the AMA yet, and we are going to record that and save that into our archives for anybody that might have missed it at this time or couldn't make it today. So I will be doing that as well, and we'll go through a bit of an introduction there also. But before I start the recording, I just want to know, can everybody hear me nice and clear? Is it easy to hear me? Is the volume all good?
Yep, everything sounds good on our end, and hopefully you can hear us just as well, but I hear you just fine.
All right, fantastic. Reading you guys loud and clear. So we'll get started off here. Just a minute. Bear with me while I start the recording. One last question before I do that. Are you guys, well, 2 questions actually. Number 1, do you have any time limit? Like, do you have any meetings, somewhere you need to be within a certain amount of time? I want to make sure I can cover everything within your time frame.
Yeah, we're pretty open. We have a couple more AMAs later in the day, but we have a good gap after this, couple calls with some dev teams later. But hey, you let us know, we'll keep going.
All right, fantastic. All right, sounds great to me. My second question is, will you be going sharing your screen, for example, to show us through parts of the website or white paper or whatever you might want to display or show us? Or will you even be going on video camera, for example, just to make it a bit more exciting and show people during the AMA?
So as far as screen sharing goes, I'm not the most Telegram, I guess valid human being. I try to just use this just for AMAs as announcement only, so I can try to work through that, but you would be getting a lot of me working through it to show the website up there. But that being said, if you screen share and just go to our website, I could drop it in the chat. If you're more used to that, that's just fine as well. As far as a video, we have done a video AMA with Crypto Atlas, but I'm currently in a tank top, so I don't know if video AMA is going to be the best idea for us unplanned right now. Brand's probably the same way, living that best life.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah,
I
if I had a
understand.
bit more notice, then we could have done video. Like, we have no problem with doing video. We're fully doxed. But yeah, if I knew that prior, then maybe I'd be a bit more prepared right now. Got a haircut or something.
Oh, she's no worries, guys. I mean, hey, maybe some people would like you guys in the tank top. Who knows? I'm just joking around. But all right, cool. We'll get started off here. For myself, sharing the screen, I'm on my phone right now. So I don't know if it would look so good. I mean, I can go to the mobile website and look through it like that, but it'd probably be better on the laptop. And I'm just with my phone at the moment. So maybe we'll see how it goes, and possibly we can do that. Anyways, I'm going to start the recording here, so just bear with me. I'm going to set that up, and we'll be starting here very shortly. Okay, so first of all, I'd like to say welcome to everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by and coming by to the Crypto Hideout yet again. We are back again with yet another AMA, one of many. Those of you that are new here, well, welcome. Thank you so much for coming by and stopping in. Scrolling through the chat here, I see a lot of familiar faces. So most of you have probably been here with us before. And again, it's really great to have you here and great to see you coming back again for another AMA. So those of you that may be new here or don't know yet, the Crypto Hideout is a place where we do lots of different AMAs with tons of different crypto projects just about every single day. Beyond that, we also do lots of giveaways, whether that's for cash, whitelist spots, NFTs, airdrops, token airdrops, and all sorts of fun stuff like that. So if you like listening to AMAs of promising upcoming projects, and you also like getting plenty of giveaways and little goodies and stuff like that, this is a great place for you to be. Besides that, we also chat about crypto every single day. And there's a lot of knowledgeable people with us. We have an education channel. We have our AMA archive where you can go back and listen to countless AMAs from the past if you're interested in hearing some of those. And yeah, we have a lot of people that are really into crypto who have been doing it for a long time, and you can learn a lot of stuff. So if you're new to crypto or you just want somewhere to chat and learn about crypto and talk about some cool projects, this is a good place to be. So today we are here with a new project they haven't launched yet. The name of it is ProtocolX. We have the team in here with us today, so I'd like to extend a warm welcome to the team. Thank you guys so much for coming by. Really do appreciate it. Thanks guys for coming in today.
Hey, no problem. Thank you for hosting us. And I kind of went into it just before, but just in case for anyone who might have joined in, my name is Neil, Shiblord on the socials, founder, CEO. We are all fully doxed. I'm KYC by Ashore. And up with me today, I have the great Brandon. He can do a little introduction to himself. Hey, just real quick, am I screen sharing? Let's start there a little bit.
Yes, everything is good on your end. Everything's good on your end, Neil.
Perfect.
If you quickly jump over to the About Us page on our website, you can see all of our lovely, beautiful faces. I am Brian, also known as Brandon in the real world. I am the community manager. Up the top there, you can see Neil. I've been in the crypto space just shy of 2 years now, forever been in community management roles, moderation roles, marketing side of things, and the overall project advisory roles. So I am the community manager of ProtocolX, and I'll be the go-to in our Discord server.
Okay, I think you might have cut off there at the end, but I basically got the gist of it. You're the community manager, and ProtocolX here. Which person are you within that team page there?
I am the top one there. My name is Neil, so I'm the founder, CEO up here with you guys.
All right, fantastic. Yes, I've been talking to you. I didn't know because it was because you've joined as ProtocolX, so I thought I didn't know it was you, Neil, but. Fantastic. That's awesome. All right. So cool, guys. Well, why don't we get started here? I know you've introduced yourself briefly, but maybe you can tell us a little bit about your backgrounds. I believe you've done KYC and sort of are fully docs. You said you've done some different video chat AMAs in the past already. Maybe you can tell us a bit about your backgrounds. Have you been involved in any other crypto projects? How did you guys come together to make this project as well?
Yeah, so all of us here on the team, every single one of us have a variety of different experience via the crypto space, DeFi, and also real world. Me personally, I got into crypto just as an investment perspective back in about 2018. I have a economics educational background, but worked primarily in public service, things like that, and then ran a small business in the real world. Then just this year, this past January is when I got my first kind of DeFi community manager position. Started working through that, still work for that team just as a CM. But of course, as you go through these different projects, there's always things that you're like, well, what if we did something a little bit differently on? And then we started brainstorming. I've met every single person that's on the team, either in real life or via other projects that we've worked together on. Like Walks has helped me with graphics on other things. Jared, I know in real life. Adam, Jack, and Brandon all are very tight with each other, and they've worked together with many other projects. That's kind of how we integrated over time there. And then we just started bringing all of our different ideas, experiences, and everything else together. And that's kind of how how we formed this ProtocolX vision, which is a little bit different than most rebase protocols. I'm sure we'll go into that here in the near future, but pretty cool. And then Brandon can go into a little bit about his experience and how he's met, particularly those who he knows very well.
Of course. So as I said before, I've been in the crypto space for about 2 years. I've got an accountancy educational background. Worked ever since I was younger. I've sort of delved into my own, self businesses, been self-employed. I had a computer engineering company from young, and many other adventures that didn't go to plan, as you may know if you're an aspiring businessman or an entrepreneur yourself. But as we grew in this space, I got into crypto about 2 years ago. Met some great people in early projects and within the DeFi space, the likes of Feg, the Safe Moon. Once it really blew up, obviously there was a demand for marketing and demand for moderation roles. So I took my first leap into a project. Went really well. Met some great people. Was a community manager there, and then I stepped into other roles, moderating for some large rebase projects. And built up, great skills and learned a lot from there. And as Neil said, we all combined our ideas. The good thing about ProtocolX is it was a bit of everyone's idea worked in to make a great project based off past experiences. Now, the best part about that is that we've all learned, we're all rebase heads, we've all invested in the big boys, the Titanos, the Seifu, the Sphere, everything along them lines. We've all invested in them. We've all seen what they've done well. We've all seen what they've done bad. And that's what we've built here is a mixture of everything combined based off our own ideas also. And then growing ProtocolX to be a sustainable, hopefully, rebase project with everything that we have lined up for it.
All right, awesome, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for those introductions, guys. Do appreciate that. And besides you two, I mean, I know you see there's a few more people here on the screen that we can see. Maybe they haven't been able to make it to the voice chat today, but maybe you could tell us about your entire team altogether. Is that all of the team there? Is that like the core team that we can see on the website there? Is there anybody else that we might be missing? How big is the team?
So yeah, this is all of our core team up here. Obviously myself, Brandon, Jack, Steven, Jared, and Adam. We do have a few mods as well in the Discord, of course, just as any project does, but this is our main core team here. Some of our mods have even doxed over over the last couple of weeks, but they're not required to, of course. So, and then just with each different roles here, Brandon has wondered what his role is. Jack is primarily the administration side for the Discord and things like that. He builds bots. He kind of has a lot of experience with that, so he brings a good element to us there. Steven is our graphics designer. He is a wizard with these graphics. He's been putting them out for us, multiple times a day, very quickly. He's designed our white paper, and also he was a designer of the actual graphics on the website. So a lot of good work there from him. We'll go into all that later. Jared and Adam are going to serve kind of as like lead mods and advisory roles. I've known Jared for 6 years in the real world. Very sound mind, and is great to help us on the team here. And then Adam, also great at what he does. Very good as an advisory role, has a lot of experience through different projects. So all of us together bring a little bit of different experiences. I'll say the real world experience between Jared and I are very similar, and the crypto experience is a vast variety between all of us, particularly when it comes to DeFi, and then also just mainstream investing and different financial strategies. So we have a lot of different experiences there. Like we've mentioned, all of us are doxed, all of us are here. I'm the only one that's KYC'd by Ashore because I'm the sole owner of all contracts and anything else like that. So if anything goes wrong on that, the onus falls on me. That's a way for me to take that pressure off of my team, but also there's an accountability point here. I'm tired of seeing, anonymous devs say, hey, they get blamed. They're the scapegoat when really the team was malicious in general. I'm the one in control of everything. This onus is going to fall back on me to run the business as it should be run. But of course, every single person in my team has an equal say as my own, so we can all kind of make decisions and work through it together.
Also, just somewhere
All
else
right.
you the website. Well, they are. If you scroll to the bottom of the website, Neil, you'll actually see our website on the main page. Yep, there it is. Developed by the team over at Solar. So if you don't know who Solar Protocol are, they're actually our development team. So over the last couple of weeks, we've been working very closely with the Solar team to develop all of our contracts, our website, and all of the juicy stuff to come on our roadmap. If you don't know who Solar Protocol are, they're actually quite docs themselves. So the main member over there, Kinsyu, is actually one of our lead developers. So Kinsyu is doxed in KYC with Tulip DAO. So what we don't have here is the trouble of any malicious rogue devs or anonymous devs, which is great for our protocol and obviously over at Solar. Kinsey himself has a umbrella of developers working for him. But the best thing about Kinsey is he takes all responsibility. Either they're docs to him directly or he's worked with them a long time. All contracts go through their entire team first. So there's never a one sole developer agreeing on the contract. It goes through a network, and then they obviously recommend us to provide them contracts certic, which we will do. So all contracts will be going through rigorous testing through their team, our team. One of our launch partners who will be announcing tomorrow, hopefully. We are not able to announce them prior to them announcing. However, all of the contracts will go through rigorous testing before they're even launched or passed through or anything's released publicly. But just for a bit of clarification, Solar are one of the development teams working on our project as we speak. We're in very close contact with them, and Kinsey and the team over there are docs themselves, and they are a great bunch of people.
Okay, fantastic. Well, thank you for sharing that about Solar. I had not heard of them before, so it's good for you to explain that and let us know a little bit about what they are doing. And you said that, obviously there's going to be a lot of testing and a lot of safety assurances before the launch of the actual contract itself, right? And is that because you also mentioned like a launchpad partner? I know you said you can't yet say who that is, but regarding a launchpad partner, is that not is that like for raising additional funds through another pre-sale, or is it like what do you mean by a launchpad partner?
No, so I should have worded that properly. So we won't be launching our initial liquidity on PancakeSwap. So the token will go live with another protocol. So that protocol has their own swap, they have their own community, and we've obviously partnered with them, got a package that benefits our holders, increases growth, marketing, and structure in that sense. We also believe in the way that their methodology works. My apologies. In comparison to PancakeSwap, if you've seen in recent times, some of the malicious dumping that happens, or the protocol takes a massive hit from their fees. So we're working closely with another project to launch on their platform. So the initial liquidity will be hosted on there. Information regarding that will be announced tomorrow. So you'll be able to see that tomorrow on our socials. We're not able to announce that during the pre-sale. We have to wait until the pre-sale closes for obvious reasons. And then obviously increased traffic and growth and marketing will be going through that. But just to clarify, we'll be launching our initial liquidity on an alternative platform to PancakeSwap and partnering and working with them for the long term.
Okay, great, understood. Well, cool. That's pretty cool. So not using PancakeSwap this time, like we see with a lot of other projects, especially in BSC, because of reasons that you think that these guys have a better idea about that can be better for your project. I can understand that. I'm very curious who it is. Obviously, you said you can't announce it, but I'm just gonna, a few that I know of, so we can all speculate a little bit. Will be something like I think there's Ape. It's is it Ape Swap? I think's one, and Bakery Swap. Those are a couple that I know. Of course, I don't know if those are any of the ones that you guys are talking about. I think there's quite a few out there, but okay, that's very interesting.
I will say this, and then we will have to stop it at that, right? I can't give any more hints, but it's neither one of the ones you said, and I believe their user base is larger than the ones you've said. So we'll leave it at that. I can't give any more alpha on that. You'll find out tomorrow. If you're excited and you want to know, keep an eye out on the socials, but we're extremely excited to work with them. It's not a small or a new platform. It is a larger protocol. We're excited to work with them. Got a good foundation in the DeFi space, right? A great hold account, and we're looking forward to working with them.
All right, fantastic. Well, we will find out before too long, as it's going to be announced tomorrow once the pre-sale does close up. Speaking of which, that pre-sale is live as we speak. But before we go into that, we're going to learn, first of all, of course, about the project. So, well, guys, maybe you can give us sort of the vision or the mission that you are going for as a team and trying to bring forward to the DeFi space and into crypto. What is it that you guys are building, perhaps in your own words? If you could share that with us.
Yeah, so we created ProtocolX with a few different very major problems in mind that we're looking to solve. One of which, particularly with rebase protocols or anything that accumulates more, is sustainability, inflationary issues. The second major problem, major red flag, is lack of transparency. And a third major problem and major red flag in DeFi is greed. So these are three things that we set out from the beginning that we're going to address primarily as main drivers of the protocol in of itself. So first one is the sustainability variables, right? So if you guys have ever interacted with these rebase tokens out there, they are quite definitely reliant on new demand. I don't want to say it's total Ponzi, whatever, it's irrelevant, but it is a supply demand direct variable. Supply goes up innately, so demand has to keep up. If demand does not keep up, then the price of the token goes down. They generally will launch without any form of sustainability variables built into the contracts or the mechanisms. Buybacks and burns are generally very low compared to the actual mints per month. So we've elected to address that in a few ways. So as we'll kind of navigate through the website here, we will start as a auto rebasing protocol. So that just means you buy the token, it's in your wallet, you don't have to go and stake it on a platform. It just starts rebasing at the rate listed there, which is 1.77% daily. But with that being said, we developed another model called the SEM, the Sustainability Emissions Model. So this is a built-in contractual sustainability variable that we have that nobody else has out there right now. So every month for 12 months, the APR is going to decrease by 10%. So month 2, it'll be 1.593% daily APR. 3, it'll be 1.4337% daily APR, all the way down to the 12-month mark, for which it'll be at 0.5% daily APR, and it'll stay there at that point. It'll continue to rebase, but it'll just rebase at 0.5% daily APR rather than month 1 when it'll be 1.77%. This allows us to ride that initial wave, that initial demand, that initial kind of hype that is often, affiliated with rebase tokens. And then as that hype and that demand naturally decreases over time, as more tokens are minted over time, we reduce the daily APR built in, very transparent from day one. We're not changing anything. This is how it's designed to function so that we can help those sustainability variables that I'll go into in a little bit. In conjunction with this decreasing APR model, we also have a lot of various buyback and burn mechanisms. We have it built right into the tax structure. We also have it built in with investments that we'll be engaging on from day one. So if immediately from day one, we'll be investing in a couple of different projects and companies out there. Our primary partner is Ego. If you guys don't know about Ego, they're a great project out there as well. So that definitely check them out or check us out, and you can go find their socials from there. But they have a trading bot that funds their protocol. And it's custom developed. I know the person who developed it personally, and I know the founder of that very, very well. I've been in communication with them for quite some time. But we'll be investing a pretty significant portion into that trading bot right as soon as we go live. This allows us to start facilitating buybacks and burns, legitimate buybacks and burns, at a level that'll be greater than many of the larger protocols who have been established for a long period of time immediately. And yes, they will be strategic manual buybacks in the sense that I'll have to go pull that action from the wallet that we have associated with it to facilitate that buyback and burn, but they will be very common. I'm not going to sit there and hold on to the funds for a full month. It'll be at least bi-weekly, but ideally weekly at different times throughout the week, so that it cannot necessarily be sought out and targeted, but it will be very often and consistent. In addition to that, we also have our own custom liquidity management system built into the contract in and of itself. We'll have to set a range for when we go live. I have a range in mind, but we're going to have some last minute talks with the dev team here today, and we'll get that range set. This will just bring another element to sustainability. Obviously, the best one that has done it out there in recent times is Horde. That's their total of their model, of course, right? But have you seen some others that try to implement it as just a piece of their model, or as a totality of their model rather, without having all the variables that Horde had? It'll fail. So the way I like to look at this is, if you have a little house built up here and you have one stick under that house, well, if that one stick cracks and breaks, the whole house falls over. If you have 10 sticks under that house and each stick is representing a different sustainability variable that we have worked into the system itself, if one cracks a little bit, well, the other 9 are going to hold it up while we then address that one, refix it, rebuild it, put it back up stronger than ever, so that the house doesn't fall over for any one given flaw in the system, because of course things might work out differently than what we expect over time. In addition to that, we have NFTs that we'll be introducing in the very, very near future, and these NFTs are a direct revenue share system from the buy and sales tech, and buy and sales tax in and of itself. We just released a medium this morning, actually, so it'll be a built-in, not rebasing token, kind of separate from the ecosystem, but still involved in the ecosystem because it's affiliated with a token in and of itself. And this is a way for those to mint these NFTs at a reasonable price. And then at that point, they start getting a revenue share brought back to them from there. So we have that working to our advantage. That'll end up bringing in some new money for us to invest in about 3 to 4 weeks to continue those sustainability variables. We also have our own custom decks that'll be developed and launched probably within the next month or so. We had that scheduled to launch at live, but there were some delays from the dev team, but no worries on that. We'll get that up and going as well. I think I hit some of our primary things, but I'll keep talking literally forever. So if I answered beyond the question, let me know and we can kind of navigate through that.
I mean, that was certainly a thorough answer. There was a lot of information to digest there, to break into, but from what I've heard, or from what I just heard you say, there's a lot of stuff that you sound like you're doing a bit different than many of the other yield protocols out there, or staking protocols, let's say. First of all, I haven't heard of one that has a decreasing APY over time. So as you said, I think it was 1.77% per day is what it's staying on at, and then as the months go by, that decreases and decreases and decreases in order to sustain the project further, right? So is it that after 1 month of time,
you are cutting out just a little bit there.
It gets readjusted every month, is that correct?
You cut out completely throughout the whole thing.
I think I understood what you were saying, though. So yes, after 1 month when we go live, it'll decrease by 10%. So instead of 1.77, it'll be.
Okay, can you?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay now?
You're still cutting out here and there, but a little better than before.
Hello?
So I think we're still here. He might have cut out. Let's see. Host, are you here with us? I mean, if not, we can just start asking and answering questions for all I know. So
That's fine. So I'll touch base on XShares while we're waiting. So XShares in essence is a 4-tiered system. So there is a common, uncommon, rare, and legendary system. So essentially from the get-go, you'll be able to mint a common NFT for 1 BNB. To upgrade these NFTs, you'll be able to use your ProtocolX token, which in essence, when you upgrade the common NFT, you'll have to burn the PTX, right? So what that does, it inserts a mechanism where it burns. We're also thinking about inserting sort of a portion of that PTX getting distributed straight to existing holders. So anytime someone mints or upgrades a key, they can obviously have a share of that, which would also be really good and adds another sort of distribution method. But we're still working on adding additional sort of rewards and systems for the NFTs. So off the bat, we've linked the medium in the chat. I'll drop that again. Bear in mind. If you have a look at the medium, it will explain the XShares fully, but in a sense, it is a way to sort of bring the whole ecosystem together. The doors are passageways. The reason why we chose passageways are essentially because you can upgrade and grow from the revenue share model, right? So instead of it just being a card and having sort of a dead end to it, with a passageway, you can insert that into gamification, you can grow that with user built models, and you can implement that into many, many things as opposed to just a card or a pass. So what we're looking to do is build them more and further than just the revenue share model and grow them into a full-blown ecosystem themselves.
check 1 2 for the host. You hear?
Yeah, I'm here. I had to rejoin because I don't know, you guys couldn't hear me before I was speaking, but I could not be heard. So I think it might be better now. Can you hear me okay now?
Yep, we're good now.
Okay, fantastic. Sorry about that. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I was looking through the Medium article as well, and I see the NFTs. They're looking pretty spicy. I think they look pretty cool. Those designs and those graphics on them. And so basically what you're saying here with the door theme is that you know, it's like just the start, or you can go through and you can upgrade them, right? And then will it come to, like, once you upgrade the NFT, does it get a whole new like image as well, or does it change in any way?
Yeah, so in the Medium article, you can actually see the different graphics in there. So you can see the different tiers. When you upgrade from a base, so for example, if you had a common NFT that you've purchased for 1BNB, you use X keys. And what X keys is a thing that you purchase with PTX. In essence, what that does, it adds an extra burning mechanism to the PTX token. And as for X keys, you'll use that to upgrade your X share. So when you upgrade your X share, the one prior will be burned, essentially turning it deflationary. So the common ones eventually will end up getting burnt and become rare, which means the share from the each tier will become better, right? So effectively, there's a very limited amount of rare ones, right? So once people go, hey, do I want to risk upgrading it, or will they get better? So it's, in essence, what it does, it adds a couple of fun activities. So people will want to have one of each tier, just in case they become more rare as they go along. So in a way, you can just say, hey, I've got enough money, I just want to upgrade it to a rare, right? But the other people who have commons, if they hold that for a long period of time, eventually they're going to become more rare the more that get burned. So in a way, it becomes a win-win situation. And even if you can't afford, or you're not a large bag holder and you just want to hodl your common X share, essentially over time it will become more valuable and you'll be able to earn more benefits from it. But there is 4 tiers. The 4th tier you cannot earn. You cannot purchase it, sorry. It has no technical tangible value to it. The way you earn a legendary X share, which hosts a massive variety of features coming from a set actual percentage straight from the ego bot. You have, a sort of community chairboard system. In essence, it's not like a DAO, but where it allows people to voice their opinion directly with the team, one-to-one. We'll have group meetings, group conversations, direct one-to-one conversations with investors, and you'll only be able to earn these through specific events. And a example of an event like this is currently in their pre-sale. If you buy a max wallet, you're automatically given a legendary X share. There is a stipulation. Obviously, you have to hold the base amount, right? So a maximum wallet is 250,000 PTX. You don't have to hodl. Now, that's one thing we want to be clear on. We understand we're traders ourselves, right? So as long as you still hold the base amount, you can sell your rebases, you can reinvest them elsewhere, you can grow your portfolio. As long as you still hold that base amount of X share, you'll receive an airdrop for that legendary X share, right? If you have a look in the Medium article, I'll briefly go over what the actual things are for the X shares. Give me one moment. So for the legendary X share, I'll go over that one now because that one's quite prominent. There's only 100 total. These are very exclusive. They're only provided for divine events. The highest proportional revenue from taxes possible. Bonus percentages from ego trading bot. So you'll actually receive a percentage of all of the ego trading profits. That ego trading bot currently runs at around 32% a month, which it did last month, and averages between 20 and 80% per month without having a negative day in the last 6 months. Negative month in the last 6 months, sorry. So if you have a legendary NFT and you get a proportional share of that ego trading bot, and at a point that ego trading bot that's under control by PTX has, $500,000 in it, if you're getting even 1% or 0.025% or a small percentage of $100,000 every month or more, that's still going to be a very nice chunk of passive income for an NFT that you can't actually purchase, right? Now we're working on more and more reasons why these will have value. Eventually there'll be a sort of thing with gamification. As we get more investment opportunities and reasons why these will gain more value, we'll add additional perks and bonuses to them, right? But essentially, we are the first rebase token to integrate a revenue share model. Not only are we the first rebase token to do that, the taxes are actually directly built into the contract. So there is a 2% transaction tax on every buy and sell. Now, these aren't being released for a couple of weeks, right? So these have got 3 to 4 weeks until they're released. But From day one of token launch, 2% of every transaction will be going into a wallet and will be airdropped to these holders. So on release day, once you buy one, if only 10 people buy them, that wallet after a set time will get airdropped to them. So it'll be sort of, there's a reason why people want to buy them, grow them, make them level up in the essence. And over time, each one will get more rare as you burn them. So as you can see, for example, there's only 1,500 uncommon passages, right? But there's only 400 slots to level up into rare. So if you don't want to level up, then there's still going to be 1,100. But 400 of them will get burnt, in essence, making them more rare. There's 5,000 total common ones. But as you upgrade, 1,500 of them will be burnt. So in essence, the percentages are going to get more and more rare. They're going to have more value to them. The percents are going to raise, and they're just going to hold. As we add more perks and bonuses to them, they will just get better over time and will be a staple part of the ecosystem.
Okay, understood. And from what I gather, if you purchase a maximum bag in the pre-sale, you get a legendary NFT, right? So that's one of these 1 in 100 NFTs, and the maximum bag in the pre-sale is $15,000 or BUSD. Is that correct?
Yes, so at the minute, there's only, I believe, 10 people who have purchased the maximum bag, which leaves another 90 remaining seats. So, for example, the pre-sale ends tomorrow. If we only sell them 10 and only 10 people have them, what that does, it gives us 90 more opportunities to handpick or host events. It may even be the person who shilled the most, or the person who's helped the most, or the person who has had the best suggestions. There's so many ways we'll be able to give these out. Technically, they'll be free, right? Obviously, the first way we thought we could host an event was to help people who are, building that floor in the project, right? All of these pre-sale buys create the foundations of the project and allows us to grow. So if you're willing to put a large amount, which is, $15,000 into the project, we want to reward you and say thank you. Obviously, in a way that we can do without, damaging the protocol. And I think it's a really good way to say thank you and incentivize people to buy. We actually didn't launch this as a day one incentive, right? This wasn't say, hey, if you buy a Max wallet, we sat there and thought, hey, 9 or so people or 8 or so people have bought a Maximum wallet. How can we sort of say thank you and incentivize more people to join the family? So these guys who did buy a Maximum wallet, they will be guaranteed a legendary X share, which is obviously if they hold that original 250,000, they'll get that airdropped on release. If you purchase above $1,000, you'll be entered into a lottery draw to achieve a legendary NFT. And if you purchase any amount above $50 in the pre-sale, you'll get a free chance entered into a regular NFT also.
Okay, understood. Now, for people that cannot afford to purchase, say, the max bag, or they buy $1,000 worth and they can afford that, how many of those NFTs are going to be given out additionally to people who buy at least $1,000? Like, it goes into a lottery, right? But how many are going to go up for grabs then?
Yeah, so from there we have to kind of just assess how many go out in this pre-sale. We have a few different ideas in mind for how to get the other 90 out, for example. But let's just say there's another 20 that go out between today and tomorrow, right? That could adjust that there. I'd like to get at least 5 out with the lottery system, but it all depends on the amount of holders, things like that there. You have to be able to make sure you have enough for each event, because I do want these to be pretty, I guess, pretty special to get, in the sense that they're going to have a voting right, they're going to have an equal, place at the table, but also they're going to have a great return on their NFTs there. So that's kind of how we're looking into it. You got to assess the data as it comes out, and then we'll go from that with the lottery system from there.
Okay, understood. Now, just looking through the Medium article, just so again to reiterate or to let people know what is the benefit of say a legendary NFT. It's going to give you the highest proportional revenue from the taxes that are possible, and it also gives you a bonus percentages from the Ego trading bot and bonus airdrops. It also gives you governance tokens for voting rights, so you'll essentially be able to help guide the project in the future of it, and it gives you 5% of the total X share tax. So I mean, that's quite a lot of benefits, really. And when it say, the one thing I have a question about here is when it says a bonus percentages from the Ego trading bot and bonus airdrops. What does that mean? How will the Ego trading bot function within your ecosystem, and why is that giving rewards to people additionally if they hold these NFTs?
So, of course, we're going to be investing a portion of our treasury, right? So, from the get-go, we're going to be investing a portion of our treasury raised from the pre-sale from day one so we can have external revenue sources. One of our big goals at PTX, and one thing we found quite troubling within other ecosystems, is that a lot of the projects rely too much on the internal funds. So, whether that be for marketing, development, buy or burns, supplementing the burn wallet, or paying team members, a lot of team members, including the moderators, dedicate a lot of time to this, right? So not everything's free. You have to pay for these things. So what we're looking to do is bring this external as fast as we can. So whether it be for marketing, whether it be for buy and burns, whether it be for paying team members or development teams or, advancing the ecosystem, as much as we can do with that externally, we want to be able to do. And the way we want to do that is obviously we're investing a proportion of the treasury, right? Which is technically owned by the community and, the team, which means that it has to benefit the community as well, right? So not only will it, benefit the community by doing buy and burns, we also want to give a portion of that back. So as I said, these legendary NFTs, you won't only have to buy a maximum pre-sale wallet, right? You could be our best shiller or the best guy who's been doing great work helping the community, or you won a special event, or you came first in something. These won't just be, hey, we're going to give it to you because you're a whale. That's not how we want to do it. What we want to do is reward people for things they do. Now, the reason why we've done it for the pre-sale was because it built the foundations of the project, right? It gave that initial funding to be able to do. So them guys.
He might have cut out too, unless I cut out. Nope, I can see me there. So just to kind of continue what Brian says, if he cuts back in, we'll do. We've had a lot of technical issues here today, but it's all good. We will overcome them. But basically what he's getting at there is this allows us to invest. So we need to incentivize those who are basically allowing us to fulfill our strategies from day one in a variety of ways. We definitely appreciate those who get in early. And I think that's one good thing that we can do that others might not do is we can say, hey, you helped us early on. And there's a lot of projects where, the whales get in early and then they start dumping at some point because either they're just not being listened to, or there's no real vision in the project, or whatever the case might be. This allows those who want to get involved heavily early on, say, hey, this is an incentive for you to stick around, keep us, you're there in our ears at every point in time here, and then we can kind of navigate and grow from there. Obviously, it's not going to be a classic DAO in the sense that they're making all the decisions, but like I mentioned, they have an equal say at the table, just as any of us do. And Bran is raising his hand again, so we could bring him back in as I filibustered his cutout technical issues there.
All right, so Brandon is unmuted again. Okay, understood. Well, that's pretty cool stuff, and I think it's good to have an incentive for the whales, especially people that buy a maximum bag to sort of have a say within the project and the direction of it, and have a reason to keep holding and not dump, for example. So, all right, so reading through the white paper and stuff, there's a few different things that are being released, right? There's the NFTs. Looks like there's a separate token called XSwap, which it says it will be utilized as a farm token. So we'll talk about that as well. And then the core token, what is that going to be called? Is that PTX?
So yeah, sorry about that. I didn't mean to cut. I'm not sure what happened there. My Telegram pretty much just closed down. So essentially, PTX will be the rebase token, right? So there'll be a 13% buy tax and an 18% sell tax. Each proportion of the tax will go to specific wallets. There'll be a percent for Treasury, a percent for PXBB, which is the buy and burn system, a percent for the X shares, and a percent, to grow the token, right? So in the nutshell, what PXBB is the first rebase token with an actual buy and burn system. So as you know, usually these tokens have something like an insurance fund, right? But what we'll be doing for the first 25%, all of the quote unquote insurance fund, which is called the PXBB, the ProtocolX Buy and Burn, will be purchased and burned. So what that does, it creates an actual price floor in proportion to just burning tokens from the treasury, right? So these will be done over time. They won't be exact, so people can time them. But obviously, we'll announce and do some sort of article to say that they've been done. So in essence, the ProtocolX is a rebase token. It's the first token with an SCM model. It also has a liquidity management system model, and we're also going to look at introducing something called a treasury management system. So what the treasury management system is, in essence, is over time, it gets to month 4 or 5, and these teams go, we need to dump 100 grand to pay for X thing, right? Instead, what we want to do is have a treasury bot that is, AI based. It's not controlled by the emotions of the team, right? We've seen too many times where things have happened, i.e. with a liquidity management system or a treasury system that has been emotionally controlled. And what we want to do is integrate a bot that will sell a very, very small percentage on any large buy and then provide funds to the treasury. So what that in essence does in the future stops us from having to make large treasury sales or have anything that will affect the token. And this will be within the contract. This will only happen on large buys, right? That's not something that's integrated from day one. Not only do we have that, we are already, before we've even launched, building platforms, right? Now, we announced our partnership with ChainBet today, so we'll be an official BSC partner on their platform, so you'll be able to use our token for table games. We're currently working on building our own system in regarding that. So we are building sort of an ecosystem in regards to PTX, ways we can stimulate the burn, where we can stimulate uses for it, right? On the DEX, you'll have a token called XSwap. Now, what XSwap is, it is the native token for the exchange. XSwap will be a farming token. It will have a 5 billion increasing maximum circulating supply each year, and that will last for 10 years until it reaches 50 billion. So what that enables us to do is have this token at a very good and sustainable APR where people can invest into the DEX. Our DEX itself will be partnered by Assure DeFi, which we already are with, and they'll be the official KYC partners and we'll be the official supplying partners for our DEX, right? So in essence, the only projects that are going to list on our DEX are ones that have been vetted, audited, and KYC'd. So the one thing you won't have on our DEX is every other dev just launching a token, rug pull. So every token on our DEX will have a reliable back team. Obviously, you can't guarantee that even if they are docs and KYC that they won't rug, but we'll obviously be doing vigorous testing and background research to make sure that these projects are safe. So the way it will work, right, is PTX is a rebase token and it has taxes. So one way you stop them taxes from affecting any staking or single staking is by wrapping a token. So within our contract, we'll have an index function. An index function, in essence, is a way to wrap a token without stopping the rebases, but visually stopping the rebases. So essentially, when you wrap PTX, it won't show that the token is increasing, but the token will be increasing inside of the wrap. So when you then unwrap the token, it will then increase in value, right? However, that enables us to do is be able to stake that token for XSwap and vice versa, and any other DEX aggregating pairs we have on the exchange. There will be yield farming on the exchange. You will be able to pair with your favorites, BUSD, BNB, Ethereum, BBTC, the Binance Peg, Bitcoin, and any other tokens that we decide to partner with and launch on our DEX. Now, the DEX won't be coming for about a month or so, but what that does, it gives us time to make it perfect, work on building more partnerships, growing the DEX. And one thing I do want to say about the DEX, in essence, is the DEX will be secondary. One thing that people do in this space is become way too confident and try and be the next PancakeSwap, right? We're not going to do that. So our DEX will have secondary liquidity added in BNB and in MDB+. If you don't know what MDB is, they're a great token and make DeFi better. And one of their tokens called MDB Plus has a sort of raising price floor and is somewhat a stable coin for exchanges. So that will have a portion of our liquidity. DEX will only be a secondary DEX from the get-go. I think one mistake people make is try to make their DEX the main priority DEX with all of their liquidity inside of it. And in essence, what that does is stump growth, because after you have that hype phase, everyone's excited to use this new DEX. The hype dies down, right? So not only do people have to find your token, they then have to find your DEX, when in essence, it's just adding another step, which is sort of hurting your token. So what we'll be doing is using that as a secondary DEX in the background and using arbitrage box to generate profit for the DEX, which can then be used to help market the DEX, grow partnerships, and provide further TVO onto the DEX. Now, not only will that work in congruency to DEX, it will work in a way where the whole entire ecosystem works together, right? If you're a farming guy and you don't believe in rebase tokens, that's fine. You can use that X swap that you have to earn some PTX, use that PTX to buy some X keys and invest in the revenue share model. You can do the same if you're a PTX holder. Use that PTX to buy some X swap, stake that X swap for PTX, and then get some X. The way we're building this is that the ecosystem can work together, right? I understand it's a bit confusing. It's all explained in our white paper. We're going to have infographics coming. But essentially, we want the ecosystem to be self-sufficient, right? We want each part of the ecosystem to have its own unique benefits that have tangible value that people want to buy it. So that's one reason for the X shares, why we didn't just make this a card or a token or say, hey, here's an X share, you will earn this. What we wanted to do is make it a passageway so we can grow from it, introduce that into gamification, have the X keys as a token. Instead of, you could very just easily go from, hey, you can use PTX to upgrade your X shares. But what that does, it stumps the growth. If you buy X keys, you could then integrate that into gamification as well. Hey, X keys could be used as the currency within the game. So what we're doing is sort of future-proof the ecosystem to where we're not stumping growth. We're able to explore all possibilities, and we're able to expand each token to have its own benefits and make people want to own everything without having to sell everything for one another. And I think that's one mistake tokens do. Our DEX itself won't have a launch pad. We're not, from the get-go anyway, we're not going to initially be launching tokens. We're going to be helping them grow their token, help them with their pre-sale, and then provide liquidity. I think launching tokens on a very new and low hold account project, not only does that affect your current holders, but it also stumps your growth, because in essence, if someone has gone, hey, I'm going to put my last $10,000 in PTX because I believe in that, right? And you hang this new shiny project in front of them that's starting at a low market cap, they're just going to dump on the loyal holders. So the way we're going to work it is by helping them build their page, using our partners and using our growth tactics, helping these projects build from the ground up, get them assured KYC, help them with escrow, marketing, etc., and then launch them on our DEX. But initially, the DEX will be free. It will be one of our main focuses, but we don't want to sit there and say, hey, we're going to be as big as PancakeSwap from the get-go, because in essence, that won't work. And we want to grow it sustainably, slowly, and make sure we're not making any mistakes.
Absolutely. Well, that makes sense to me as well, and I think that it's great that you're in here and able to explain it to everybody and sort of walk us through it, because, as you said, there is a lot to wrap your head around, at least at first glance. As you speak more about it and figure things out, it's a little bit easier to understand. Now, speaking about the decks that you guys are creating or building, is this something that's already started development? Are you already working on it? Is it on the way already, or is this something to be started after the launch?
Yeah, so a couple of different things there. We had a whole team working on it for a long time before we ended up partnering with Solar, and they just, for whatever reason, they decided or could not facilitate it for us. So I have a couple different options here. We have the partnership with Solar, who can build it. They said it would probably take about a month for them to build, but I also have another business and personal contact in the space that could probably get us one quicker. So I'm assessing both of those. I'm talking with both of those teams, seeing what options might work the best. I'd love to get the decks up and going here sooner rather than later, because I have that partnership with Assure, and that is the primary partner to our decks. And I'll kind of scroll down so we can see our partners, I think. But yeah, I partnered with Assure DeFi. So anyone who's listed on our decks is going to be required to get a KYC by Assure, which we are funding for them. It covers up to 2 KYCs, gets them on the Assure network, and some good stuff there. But I need that live for that partnership to be materialized how we envisioned it. So ideally, I'm going to get it live quicker. But I'll work with the Solar team. They're our primary partners. So if they're very much opposed to that, I'm going to respect them, because they've done so much great work for us already, and we'll navigate that from there.
Okay, got it. Understood. Now, the DEX is going to be a place, as you said, that everybody, all the projects that launch, they'll be vetted. They'll have to go through KYC. You're not going to. It's not just like a crazy DeFi, DEX where it's just anything that's listed on there. I guess people, projects will have to apply. They can't just like auto list or pay some money or something like that, right? It has to go through the rigorous testing in order to make sure, at least to the most likely, it won't be anything like a scam or a rug that will be listed there. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. So there's going to be a variety of different vetting purposes. I already have the document ready to go for whenever we get a little closer to that. But pretty much they're going to have to get that KYC. They are going to have to do at least a video call with me. I prefer them all to be doxed, but it's not going to necessarily be a requirement. Probably just doxed to myself. There's going to just be a variety of different things. We have to evaluate their protocol because I don't want this to be like some of those dexes out there that they just list anyone who they can get their hands on just for some added revenue. I want ours to be a place of relative security, and of course, a project could fail. Any token out there in the whole system can fail, and that's totally possible. We're just trying to mitigate the risk of failing via bad tokenomics or bad leadership, and then also, of course, trying to identify and eliminate malicious actors that are on there. So thus far, we've partnered with Ego, and they're going to have their staking platform with us, and then MDB, which there is coming up. There's their logo. MDB will be listed on there as an alternative LP for our token. And Vault Finance, I don't believe will be listed on there. And Charity, I still got to work with them to see what they're doing, but they're on a different blockchain. So we will increase the blockchains as we go on. That being said, I want us to be a little bit exclusive in the sense that we are we're not taking everyone that wants to jump in there. I want us to be something that can vet, and that when someone uses our DEX, they say, okay, hey, at least these are the teams. We can see them. We know who they are. They've been KYC. They've been vetted for X, Y, and Z. Now we can do our own research and elect if we want to participate with their token and their project as well.
Okay, got it. Thanks so much for explaining. So another thing that's on here on your website and on your white paper is you're making X swap. So this isn't the decentralized exchange. This is a swapping interface. The same thing as you'll see with like you can see it on a number of different places, Pancake Swap, and there's a lot of projects that have their own swapping interface as well. So what is the purpose of this? Like, why are people going to use this instead of some of the other swaps out there? And why is it perhaps better than some of the other swaps out there?
So essentially, the reason why people want to use our swaps, right, is, with Pancake Swap, and you've got all of these, massive dumps that happen in projects. Essentially, what we're going to be doing is giving a small percentage back to the token for them to use for marketing, for them to add to their treasury, right? And what we're also going to do with the other percents is, obviously, a percent will go back into XSwap without affecting the ecosystem into investments as such. And also, we'll go into growing XSwap and adding TVL to the platform, right? So instead of having massive dumps on these tokens, of course, a small portion would have to be sold eventually if the token became too, valuable. We had too much of it. But essentially, the main part of the DEX, right, and what we're open and honest about is we want to help projects grow. We want to help smaller projects grow. We don't care if you're a large protocol or small protocol. Some of the smaller protocols, such as MDB, Solar, Ego, have amazing teams, right? And I think a lot of projects within this space are blinded by hype and then end up joining these massively overhyped projects and then end up losing money on them because of incompetency. Now, as opposed to these smaller teams where you've got the great devs, the great foundations of a great product, are somewhat overlooked. So what we want to do is sort of build an ecosystem for all of them projects where people can come in and say, hey, we're not getting dumped on by Pancake Swap. We're not getting dumped on by X, Y, or Z. And they're helping us, build a token, giving a portion back to marketing, to the team, and going from there. So there will be incentives. There'll be a full document for projects and investors alike to read, and reasons why that the DEX will be better than any opposing DEX.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for explaining that. So is it, and as you said, a portion of these of the shares will go back to investors. So it's through it's not through the X share. I'm trying to wrap my head around everything. The X share is with an X share tax, right? So where does the portion of the swap fees, how does that get distributed to holders or people that are invested in the project in ProtocolX?
Yeah, so already have all the tokenomics already built out for that. They'll be formally announced and there'll be a meeting released on how each of those work as well. But one of the issues that people will have with PCS, Pancake Swap, is that with a portion of every transaction on there, there's a 0.25% transaction fee that goes back to Pancake Swap. That funds a variety of things, including their system over there, but it also taxes the protocol that uses it from the use aspect, right? So how we have elected to navigate that is we still have that same total 0.25% transaction, but instead of the fees going to us for us to sell, that fee that the PCS would normally take for them goes back to the team whom is exchanging on there. So if it's whatever token is exchanging on there, that percentage of the tax goes back to them, to their own treasury. And same thing with us. A portion of it will go to funding the farms, of course, which is a necessity if we are going to have farm platforms, which we are. And then a little portion will go to our treasury, and then a little portion will go back to their treasury. So it's a little bit diversified, and it's less impactful than what PCS does because we're not going to sell the native tokens built into the exchange in and of itself, which there's been some big ones out there which have already seen that happen. And it's a real issue, especially if you get a lot of volume and that exchange will dump a bunch of tokens, and they don't do it over time either. They just sell them when they want to. So keep that stuff in mind for PCS. That's how some of these dips are created from other protocols. And that's just a way to mitigate it. It goes back to the team. It's very transparent. They can call me on the phone and say, hey, what is our allocation here? Where is it going? We can show them how it goes directly back to their treasury, built into the smart contract.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's I didn't realize that that is one of the causes of big dips on projects from some of the other swap platforms that we know of. So it's good to hear that you sort of have you're not going to allow that so vigorously like many of the ones that you mentioned, such as Pancake Swap or some other ones. So understood about that. And the XSwap platform itself, when would we expect this to be available for people to use?
So the estimated time for that is around a month's time, we are hoping. But obviously a more solidified time frame will come once we have more updates, more details, once beta testing is done along the source there.
Okay, understood. So I'm just working through some of the different products that you guys are creating here. We've already talked about, I think, all of them, maybe except for the farming and staking platform that will be created. So obviously there's the PTX, which is the core token. This is in pre-sale as we speak at the moment. You can find that on their website. So if you go to ProtocolX.io, I'll just link the website here in the chat. You can also find all the links for the projects in our pinned messages in our own group here. But if you check out the website there, you can read through the website. I do encourage you guys to take a look through the website and check out everything. There's a lot of great information on there. You can read all about the project. So maybe if you don't understand some things in the chat today, you might be able to take a look there and read through things yourself to understand a bit better. There's also the white paper on there you can check out. And right at the top of the page of that website, you'll be able to see the pre-sale link. You can click on that and check out their pre-sale as well. I think that there's been, a significant amount of money that's been raised so far. I think it's around $370,000. And I guess it's closing in about 24 hours time. So you have 24 hours to get in, and then I suppose you won't get such a good rate once it actually launches. At least that's usually how pre-sales work, right? So is it going to be like a lower, you get more tokens for your money during the pre-sale than once it launches?
So the way it'll work is a maximum wallet is $15,000. You can invest any amount you want. The pre-sale price is based off of 0.06 cents. So essentially one token is only 6 cents, 0.06 cents, sorry. On launch day, the token price will launch at 0.07. So in essence, what you're doing is you're getting it for cheaper, and you're also avoiding that 13% buy tax buying on pre-sale. So on launch day, that's when the rebase is and the token goes live. So all of the taxes aligned with that will also go live. So purchasing on pre-sale, you'll get a token called PPTX, which in essence is pre-sale ProtocolX token. On the day of this closing, so tomorrow, you'll then be able to go into the app and trade your PPTX for original PTX, and then add the respected contract to your wallet. We will not be launching on PancakeSwap, so if you had a pre-sale, do not buy any scams on PancakeSwap. And please make sure you check all of our announcements, any formal contract addresses, anything the lines. There will be no liquidity on PancakeSwap, so please do not try to purchase on PancakeSwap. The only way you can purchase it as of today is on our pre-sale page, which you can find on our website. And yeah, that's in a nutshell how the pre-sale works.
Okay, got it. Now, one thing I'm curious about, because we don't see it too often, is why have you guys decided to do your pre-sale on your own website? Often we see pre-sales being launched on different platforms, like, for example, there's like Pink Sale or DX Sale or a number of different pre-sale platforms. Sometimes investors can get a little bit worried. They're like, oh, I know you guys are all like doxed and KYC'd and stuff, and you go on video chat and things like that. But sometimes people get worried that, oh, it's on not a third-party website. The money could just be taken, or this and that. It's not controlled by a third party, right? So why have you decided to take this route, and how would you assure people that it's safe to invest through this avenue?
I'll answer this one quickly,
Okay,
and then Neil can touch base just quickly. It doesn't matter what platform you invest on, right? If you invest on Pink Sale, any other of them alike, at the end of the day, the team is still going to get the funds the same way or another. Once it hits soft cap, the team will be transferred the funds. The only difference between that is obviously the front-facing company of it. To a normal investor, it looks like there's more security, when in reality, it's pretty much the same thing, just on a different website. And another negative thing on using one of these platforms for a project is they take a percentage out of the pre-sale, right, in tokens or in value. So not only do we start the pre-sale at a loss already, it's not good in the long run, especially if Pink Sale is such a holding a percentage of tokens. So what we're doing is we're building a foundation on trust and sustainability here. So every avenue of the way will be working around sustainability, working around growing the token efficiently. And that's one reason for us not launching on PancakeSwap, so we don't have them future dumps, the same way not using something as Pink Sale, so we don't have them future dumps.
And if I may add just real quick, our pre-sale contract is public, so everyone can go check it out. It goes right to our multi-sig. It's a 4-6 multi-sig. Very same way, like what Brand said, to what the Pink Sale does, except they take a pretty significant portion, either cash or tokens that they'll sell. So you get to avoid that. Same exact thing, though. It goes to a wallet, ideally a multi-sig wallet for any project out there. But that's the exact way ours works as well. And we had the multi-sig posted up in our Discord, 4 out of 6, with all 6 of us doxed.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for sharing about that. So that's so you know, guys. It sounds like from that perspective, you can check out the contract for the pre-sale. You can, if you know code, or if you know people that know code, they can look over it and see if it looks safe and so on and so forth. And it just sounds like these guys are being pretty transparent. So you shouldn't worry. You have to do your own research and look into it, but it sounds like a lot of bases have been covered, and of course they have their KYCs and things like that as well. So that's, you can consider that also. Now, because we're talking about PTX here and the pre-sale of PTX, of what people can invest in, I'd like to go over it again quickly for people who may not have been here near the start. So essentially, it's it's an auto staking protocol that does things a little bit different than a lot of the other auto staking protocols you may have seen. It starts off as a 1.77% daily auto rebasing token. So that means you're going to be getting 1.77% returns every day. However, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, after every month it will decrease. The returns will decrease by 10%. The APY will decrease by 10% from the previous month, right? So the idea behind this again, if correct me if I'm wrong, is so that it can create more sustainability over time. Is that right?
Yeah, so what protocols have in like month 4 or 5, right, is an exceeding in emissions. So once you get to month 4 or 5, everyone in the project has had so much multiplications in tokens that it becomes unsustainable. But what decreasing the APY does, the APR, sorry, it allows you to have more extra time to build and grow. Not only, and something we actually didn't touch base on here for the SEM model, our liquidity will be the first rebase token that doesn't rebase. Now, this is a model that's been looked into and tested by numerous people, and is seen to be efficient where it doesn't affect the BNB value as opposed to with the token rebasing, right? If the liquidity is rebasing, what is happening in essence is that BNB is being devalued, which then lowers the value of the token, right? Turning off the rebasing for liquidity allows for manual liquidity injections, but also stops the BNB being devalued.
Okay, got it, understood. So that's something that you say it hasn't been done before. This is a first time for this new sort of system.
Yes, no rebase token has ever turned off rebases for their liquidity, and I'm not sure of any contracts that are currently out on any token that allows for that.
Right. Well, something I saw, I don't know if this is, to do with what you're saying, is that I saw that basically many times, as you've said, when in standard rebase protocols, and it rebases the liquidity as well. So all these new tokens are sent out. However, because the liquidity is also rebased, it doesn't really increase the value of the tokens that are being sent out. Is that saying that instead the tokens will actually go up in value? They will be worth more.
So what you won't be doing is diluting the liquidity pair. So in essence, you have PTX and BNB in the liquidity pair, right? So if that value is automatically every day going 1.7% up, it's automatically devaluing the BNB pair by 1.77% a day, which causes the token price to be worth less, right? If you're not doing that and you're not having the liquidity pair inflate, you're not going to face the BNB pairing to become unstable. So then what that allows you to do is manually eject further liquidity into it to make that price more stable also. And yeah, Neil, sorry if I cut you off there.
Nope, you're good. You're good. That's perfect. Yep. Just like he said, it's very, very simple mathematics. If no dollars change from today to tomorrow, the LP would be diluted by 1.77% unless we did what we did here. And that's just how these rebase protocols work, is there's so much of that native token in the LP. And this is a way for us to stop that just natural built-in decrease to the liquidity pair. And yeah, it's just another piece of that, like I said, get those 10 sticks under the house, keep them all working together. So that's how we're approaching that end there. Pretty cool, pretty interesting system, super basic. So why that has not been implemented, guess we'll figure out, but I'm sure it'll start popping up here in the near future.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I hope if it's something that does, I mean, it sounds pretty beneficial. If it is something that is beneficial, maybe you guys will create the trend and more people will start doing that, as you said. So, okay, beyond the rebasing and the auto staking that's happening here, you're getting more tokens, and it starts to decrease over time to make it more sustainable. So obviously the people that invest earliest, in the pre-sale or on the launch or within that first month, basically within the first days of those months, will get rewarded the most, and over time it will it will decline in the amount of tokens you are receiving for the auto staking. Could you say that with that, would it de-incentivize people to purchase the tokens as time goes on because they say, oh no, I'm not getting as high APRs, right? Is that something to consider or something to possibly worry about?
I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say so, no, because essentially, even at 0.5%, right, the APR is still great. You have to talk mathematically and scientifically, right? You have to talk about the mentality of people that in DeFi, long-term holdability, and 1 week in DeFi is about a year, right? It feels like a year. So the realistic chance of people holding for the entire year is quite low. Now, what we're not doing is promising crazy dollar returns for the year. What we're promising is a consistent daily APR. Now, that's the difference between us and other rebase protocols. They sit there and go, hey, we are going to earn 400,000% a year. No, what we're doing is advertising a daily APR. So in essence, what that does is say,